All right, up first today is Mike. And Mike wrote in and said, I'm trying to get my business off the ground, but I'm having a hard time getting myself moving. My girlfriend just moved in and is financially supporting me while things are getting started. It's been a source of stress in our relationship, and I don't want to put undue stress on her and further contribute to the already tumultuous start to our relationship. Do you have any advice?
Why is the relationship tumultuous to begin with?
Oh, right off the bat, eh? Right. Getting right into it. Well, we had been together for about 4 months, and she was working at a ski hill, and
She was working at a what?
Extra relationship at a ski hill.
A ski hill. Okay, I thought you said a steel. She was working at a steel. Okay, she's a bank robber. That might be tumultuous. Okay, working at a ski hill. Got it.
Yep. And there were some extra relationship activities that went on up there without me present, if you know what I mean.
Okay, look, man. I'm too old for euphemisms. Yeah. I don't know what extra relationship activities. Did you mean you had like group sex with yaks in a hot tub? I don't know what the hell that means.
No, she slept with someone else up there.
Okay, hang on. Okay, oh Lord. Okay, so you meet the girl. She works on a ski hill, and you're dating her. Your boyfriend, girlfriend, you're dating. And she sleeps around with someone else. She's unfaithful to you. Do I have it right so far?
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you the actual story, like the actual details of what happened, or?
Nope.
Okay.
And so how far into your relationship did this happen?
It was about 4 months. So she had just finished another job, and she was applying for a job. She's a chef. And she was applying for a job at the ski hill, and it was a little bit too soon in the relationship for me I didn't feel like I should be voicing my apprehensions about her working up there, and I kind of kept it to myself. And then as the relationship went on, she apparently got blackout drunk one night and slept with someone else. So,
is she there?
No, she's supposed to be home from work fairly soon here, so she wanted to listen to the show. So,
got it. All right. So she slept with another man?
Yeah.
And she claims that she was blackout drunk?
Yeah.
Which we've also heard before, right? I mean, on this show, which neither here nor there. Now, how did she know, if she was so blackout drunk, how does she know she actually slept with someone?
Woke up with him the next morning.
Ah, okay. And did she use protection? Did he?
No.
And did she get screened for sexually transmitted diseases?
Yeah, the screening wasn't really necessary.
And why is that?
I had she brought something home, so.
Oh, so she came back with an STD that she got from this guy who had sex with her while she was blackout drunk?
Yeah.
And what did she come home with?
One of the, I think it was chlamydia.
Right. So something treatable, right?
Yeah, treatable. Yeah.
Okay. And how did she know that she had chlamydia?
'Cause I knew. She gave it to me, and I had the venerable stinging pee problem going on, so.
Pissing fish hooks. Good time to go to the doctor.
Yep.
And did it clear up with medication?
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 months into the relationship, she slept with someone else and given you an STD.
Yeah.
And then she moves in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So do you really think that your major issue is your entrepreneurial things?
Well, she didn't move in immediately afterwards. Like,
oh my God. You didn't just tell me that. Oh my God. You didn't just tell me that, right?
Yeah. I'm not really sure what you're.
Does it really matter how long it was that she moved in?
I don't know. This is kind of where I'm confused, like we hadn't been together for too long once this happened. And at the beginning of a relationship, I mean, like you don't immediately get into a relationship with someone and it's exclusive right off the bat. And
were you having,
I wasn't really sure how to handle it.
Hang on.
Yep.
Were you having sex with her?
Yes.
Did you know she was having sex with other people?
No. Well, it wasn't really. It was one person as far as I know.
But
So,
see, her intentions, I mean, was she supposed to be exclusive with you? Because is that why she's saying, well, I was blackout drunk and that's why I had sex with the other guy?
I don't know. Like we had never really had any sort of an exclusivity talk at that point. Like we were still at that point, obviously we weren't living together and we were kind of seeing each other, but there was no like full on exclusivity talk. So like we weren't, calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend or any of that stuff. So, and she presented it as though it were, a slip up, which I believe it was. I mean, I don't know how much, stock you can put in that, but I kind of took her at her word there. So
slip up meaning like it wasn't my fault because I was drinking?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So I guess I can use that defense. So like if I get blind drunk, get into a car and kill someone, I can say, well, hey man, I was drunk. So it's not a problem, right?
Yeah. No, I know. And I've struggled with this too. I know exactly what you're saying. There's obviously has to be some liability there. But, like the scenario that I was presented with is that she wasn't drinking with any like close friends. She didn't really have anyone there watching her. And she got a little bit.
She didn't have anyone watching her.
And
what are you saying?
Well,
when she walks down the street, is she holding a rope with a lot of other children? Is she saying that unless she's closely monitored, she might get drunk and fall on a penis?
No, I don't think
like,
so.
Unless she has bodyguards ringing her, unless she has bodyguards ringing her to keep the STD-ridden penis poles at bay, they're just going to get through her perimeter of drunkenness?
Yeah.
How hot is this woman? You got to explain this to me. I don't understand this at all.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt.
You're not answering my question.
I mean, maybe...
You're not answering my question. Okay, 1 to 10, right? Because I need to know. Okay, 1 to 10. What do we got?
Oh, jeez. 7.5.
And where would you put yourself on the scale?
I don't know. Probably maybe around a 5. I'm a little overweight right now, so.
Okay, so you're jumping 2.5 points up, right, on the scale. So you're looking to go a whole quarter up, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's a pretty arbitrary scale, I think, but
it's not that arbitrary. Actually, people usually are pretty clear about this stuff. And I'm not. The reason that and people get upset when I ask these questions, but there's important reasons to ask the question, which is if you feel attractive-wise insecure relative to your partner, then you will give her more resources in order to make up for that. You'll have a desire to do that unless you know that about yourself. Or if she's way up there in the attractiveness scale, then she, with, say, chlamydia, gets knocked down to your level and you feel more egalitarian, right?
Yeah, no, and I see what you're getting at. I know what you mean.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with different scales. Like with a 5 going for a 7.5 or whatever, but you have to be really clear that your penis wants to climb up that ladder, right? Your penis wants to go from 5 to 7.5. Why? Because physical attractiveness is a sign of genetic fitness, even features and so on. It's a sign of particularly women who have alpha male features, which is high cheekbones and stuff, square jaws. They indicate that they come from alpha male stock, and so they genetic fitness and so on. So our penis constantly wants to go jetpacking up the scale of attractiveness, right? And everybody's aware of this. And it's not the only factor in life, but it's something we need to be really aware of so that we don't get exploited, right?
Yeah, no, and I understand that. And I mean, I wasn't trying to say I'm an ugly guy. Like I'm a little bit overweight right now, but I've got a good build and good features, and I do bring other things to the party. So, I think that we're a good match. But this is, I mean, like I said, this is definitely one of the things that I've struggled with in our relationship, and trying to rebuild some trust. And I knew that you were going to have a bit of a meltdown when I told you about that. So I was kind of expecting. And
do you know why? So. Do you know why I'm having a meltdown?
Because basically I committed after having a massive breach of trust.
No, I'm having a meltdown because you're not. And because this is not the topic of the conversation. This was sort of thrown into one side, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you don't seem to be particularly bothered by it.
Oh, believe you me, I mean, I've worked through a hell of a lot of grief, and there's still obviously.
Where is she sleeping?
In bed next to me.
Right. So you're not that bothered by it. Because after 4 months, she betrays you, she sleeps with another guy, infects you with a contagious disease, and moves in.
Yeah.
If you heard the story from someone else, Mike, what would you say?
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
Look. Are you going to emotionally engage in this conversation at all? Because it just sounds like you're describing the menu from a restaurant that closed 12 years ago.
No, I'm emotionally engaged. I'm not going to break down in tears or anything, but.
Oh, I'm not asking you to break down. I'd be happy if you got angry.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what the fuck is missing in your heart, Mike? That a woman who fucks another guy and gives you a disease, you're like, let's make a go of it. Like, what happened to you? And I mean this with sympathy. What happened to you, Mike, that this is even within the realm of possibility in your life?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Let's talk about your mom.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me a little bit about your first experience of the feminine, let's say.
First experience with which, sorry?
Tell me about what was your relationship with your mother like? What was your mother's relationship with your father like?
Well, my dad was a big alcoholic. So I guess my early memories of my mom were, friction with him.
So you get that the woman. Hang on a second. I'm sorry to interrupt you just right after you asked, but I don't want to forget. So you understand that your father was an alcoholic, and your girlfriend claims. I hate to say girlfriend. Your father was an alcoholic, and the girl you're with now uses alcohol as an excuse for bad behavior.
Yeah, well, she did in that one instance.
Do you think that it's a good idea, if you were raised by an alcoholic, to be with someone who drinks to blackout, has sex, and infects you with a disease that can actually kill your fertility?
Yeah, it certainly might not be the best life choice, that's for sure.
All right. So, are your parents still married?
No, my dad died when I was 16. So he's been gone.
And your mom's, now how bad an alcoholic was he?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, at 16, I wasn't really in a position to judge, having no experience with alcohol myself at that age. But according to my mom, he was a fairly big alcoholic. Like, I remember him coming home from work, and he'd have a number of beers after work. How many exactly, I can't say. But I remember, as I got older, I certainly remember a few experiences of him being fully intoxicated.
And how often would that happen?
Well, I lived with him from when I was, I think 14 until I was 16. And over those 2 years, the point of like full on intoxication, I would say, maybe once or twice, but there would be, weekends where we'd go away where I'm sure he would smash through a 2-4 over the course of a weekend or over the course of, a day, maybe 18 beers for a day, like drinking pretty much all day
18
long.
beers?
So.
Wait. Are you saying 18 beers in a day?
Yeah.
I mean, assuming you're not drinking 24 hours, how do you even survive that?
Yeah. You're drunk by the end of the day. That's for sure. So.
I think with 18 beers, you're drunk a little bit before the end of the day. Okay, so a pretty significant alcoholic, right?
Yeah.
And what do you think of your mother's decision to stay with him?
Again, that's a difficult question, right? Because, they were married young. And my mom had my brother and I when she was fairly young. And she also had a very poor support system from her parents. And I would imagine, I've never been in this situation personally, but I imagine if you've got 2 young kids and a partner who isn't necessarily the best partner, you may feel like you're painted into a corner and you don't have too many options. But
lots of women get lots of women get divorced. Lots, and look, I'm not saying she should or shouldn't have, I don't know. But the idea that she didn't have a choice is not valid. 50% of marriages end in divorce, and they're not all to alcoholics, right? So your mother certainly had choices, right?
Right. And that's why I said maybe she felt as though she didn't have a choice. But obviously,
well, I guess we can all say that, right? I felt like I didn't have a choice, and therefore, right? You can always say that if you want, right? Yeah. But the reality is she had a choice, right? So she chose to let an alcoholic raise her children, co-raise her children.
Yeah.
Now, did your mother have any substance abuse problems or any other issues?
No, she's always, she's 52 or 53 now, and she's just getting to the point now she drinks more wine than she did. It's kind of loosening up a bit, which is good. But back in those days, she rarely, if ever, drank anything.
Right. And so the other thing that we have in common is you're not giving a lot of moral agency to the women around, right? Your girlfriend was blackout drunk. Your mother maybe felt like she didn't have any choices. She married young. She didn't have a support system from her parents. She had kids young, right? So it's all happening to them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I would respectfully invite you, given that my daughter is going to inhabit the same planet that you do, I would really invite you to start giving some goddamn moral agency to the women around. They're not children. They're not infants. They're not pets. They're not robots. They are adults with full, complete, and total moral agency and responsibility. This babying of women, this weird thing where it's like, well, they're helpless. They were young. She was drunk. No, they are moral agents. Didn't they want equality? Here it comes, ladies. Here's your equality. No excuses, right?
No, that's very true. But in fairness, you're also asking me to comment on, their personal experiences, what they may have been feeling or thinking or going through. And you are commenting on them.
You are commenting on them. And your comments are an excuse from moral agency, a release from adult responsibility.
Okay.
All you're making is excuses.
Well, I'm not intending to do that. I'm not intending to make excuses for them.
If you're going to be defensive, I'll just move on to the next caller, right? Right? I don't care what you intend to do. I'm telling you what you're doing. You can either accept what I'm saying or not, but don't tell me your intentions. I'm telling you what you're doing. You're making excuses for the women in your life, which is condescending and sexist.
Okay.
Okay. How did you find out that your girlfriend cheated on you?
Because I asked her after I realized that I had a health issue. I asked her. And
so she didn't even confess until you got crotch rot.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So how long
Yeah.
was it between when she slept with the guy and when you realized you had chlamydia?
It was about a month, I think.
So she slept with a guy, gave you an STD, and didn't tell you, thus allowing the disease to work its way into your body, possibly sterilizing you. She kept it secret for a month, thus denying you the right to get tested and get medication, possibly threatening your health in a permanent way.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? That is evil. That is exactly the same as poisoning you. That is an assault upon your physical health and integrity. This is immoral, evil, manipulative, destructive, base, vile, and hateful. Are you kidding me? How could you not imagine that you can do better than this kind of abominable human being? Do you, seriously, Mike, do you not think, is this the best you can do?
No, I wasn't really looking at it that way.
I'm telling you, this is how it is. Can you not do better than a woman who infects you with disease and hides it from you until the disease manifests itself?
Yeah.
Can you not? Because now you know, right? Can you not? Is this the best you can do? Can you not get a better woman than a woman who fucks another guy, gives you crotch rot, and doesn't even tell you she fucked another guy?
Yeah.
Is this the top of your capacity to attract a good woman?
No, I don't think so.
So why are you in this relationship? What does she have to do for you to say, that's really not very good? I don't think I want to be with you.
You know, we talked about it a lot, and I felt as though she made a mistake.
No. Stop it. Stop making goddamn excuses. It's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. She fucked a guy and didn't tell you. That is not a mistake. That is very conscious behavior.
Yeah.
No, stop white knighting. Stop writing off and excusing women from moral responsibility. That's bullshit, and it opens you to this kind of manipulation, which could have stolen all of your children out of your bloodline. 4 billion years, nature has worked its way up to you, and it could have ended right with you, because this little number fucked a guy and didn't tell you, and gave you a disease.
Yeah.
So don't give me this bullshit. She fucked a guy, and she lied to you about it, and threatened your health.
Yeah.
That's not a mistake. Look, I'm just telling you the way it is. I'm not sure who the hell is in your life that is sugarcoating all this bullshit. Does your mom know about this?
Yeah.
And what does your mom say?
She was happy that we decided to make a go of it.
So your mom knew that this woman gave you a disease that could have made you sterile, that could have harmed your body permanently by fucking another guy and hiding it from you. And your mom's like, great. Keep going.
Yeah, if you want to distill it down to that, then yeah, that's Yeah.
Well,
essentially
no,
what happened.
don't put this on me. Don't put this on me. Tell me where I'm not correct. I'm not distilling
No,
or I'm
you are.
repeating back to you what you have said to me.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't as simple as that. Like, obviously there was a lot of, there's a lot of talk that went on, and I don't know, like I wrestled with it too. Like I was ready to throw in the towel. I was ready to completely like end it.
Ready to throw in the
And-
towel? How about bring her up on
Yeah.
fucking charges? It's illegal to poison people and not tell them. Throw in the towel. Look, I'm not saying you gotta call the cops. I'm trying to give you a sense of what's going on.
Yeah.
If you knowingly put someone at risk for an STD, that's assault.
Yeah.
Your mom thinks this is okay? You know, a guy gives my daughter an STD when she's an adult, he's staring up his own ass in a fucking blender.
Yeah.
Like, he better get on a fucking space shuttle to Mars, because I'll find him. Yeah, honey, date him. He seems great. He fucked a woman, gave you an STD. I think it's wonderful. Why don't you have him move in? Are you fucking kidding me? My God. What about your dad? What does he
What
say?
about him?
Oh,
He
I'm sorry,
died.
your father died. What about your brother?
Yeah. My brother didn't want me to. He told me to get out of there.
And what was his argument?
I don't necessarily recall the conversation being overly long, but I remember the gist of it was that he didn't think he thought I should get out of the relationship.
So it wasn't
He
overly
was not
long.
happy with the fact that I
Was he very busy?
No, just quite often my brother and I we have quick chats and we get I don't know, it just wasn't a long conversation. Sometimes we have our long.
You contracted an illness and you're thinking about, you were given an illness, you were infected with an illness, and you're thinking of moving in with the woman who assaulted you by infecting you with an illness, and your brother's like, well, some reruns of Lost are starting soon, so I'm kind of busy. I mean,
no,
would he not want to step in and give you some sort of punch in the dick to keep you from going back to the primordial soup of your girlfriend's vagina?
Well, there was definitely no punch in the dick, but he made it pretty clear that he was not happy about me going back with her.
Okay,
he
so he just said, I'm
happy.
not happy. And that's it.
Like I said, I honestly can't remember exactly. I can't remember the conversation word for word.
Okay, so I think I'm pretty clear you're not going to leave this relationship, right?
Well,
this is okay by you. This is what you want. This is the woman for you. This is you've worked through it. You've talked about it, and this is you're fine being in a relationship where your health is physically abused.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm not okay with that.
You are, because she's there. I'm an empiricist. I don't care what your intentions are. I don't care what your hidden thoughts are. Yeah. I care what you do. And what you're doing is living with the woman.
Yeah.
Is it because she's supporting you?
No, it's not because of that.
I know why it is.
I do, you know what? I do love her. But
no. Fuck that. I'm sorry, man. Fuck that. You don't get to use that word.
Yeah.
I said this to a woman last week a week or two ago. You don't get to use the word love for a woman who fucks another guy, infects you with an illness, and hides it from you. No. Right. You don't get to use that word. Because there's nothing in love about this. Right? Love and abuse are antonyms. right? You may be codependent on her. You may be addicted to her. You may be terrified of being alone. You may be sexually infatuated with her. You may be getting the worst fucking advice from those around you that could possibly be imagined. All of that may be true. But don't tell me this has anything to do with love. And I actually do know why you're with her.
Okay.
You are with her because if you stand up for anything decent in this relationship, what's going to happen to all your other relationships?
I'm thinking you're saying that they're going to corrode.
If you don't put up with abuse, like what you're in now, this 4-month biohazard suit you're currently entombed in, this is a symptom. This is not a cause. I'm with great sympathy, Mike. You have been raised to serve women. You have been raised to excuse women. You have been raised to save women. You have been raised so that you can't cause women discomfort. You can't assert your own needs in the face of what women, and maybe men too, but we're just talking about women at the moment. You have been raised to be a comfortable set of ballless water juice that gets poured into whatever women's needs are around and fills it up perfectly. You are not allowed to have your own needs. You're not allowed to oppose the will of women. You're not allowed to make them uncomfortable. You're not allowed to make them unhappy. You're not allowed to make them angry. And so when you're viciously betrayed by a woman, you have to get all kinds of sweet and reasonable. You can't say, which I would say, fucking drunken whore hit me with pretty fucking virulent bacteria and hid it from me. Or you can't say, which you could also say, I regretfully inform you that your services as a vaginal transmission of death-dealing bacteria are no longer needed or wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say no to women. And so you end up with the lowest common denominator of womanhood, the lowest possible specimen of womanhood, because you can't say no. And you were trained not to say no to women and not to cause women discomfort by your mother, who's willing to shove you back into a medieval bacteria pit of patient zero horniness because you're not allowed to have needs. Now, if you have needs with this woman, and if you say, oh my God, no way, I can't even conceive, you're lucky I don't have your ass thrown in jail for infecting me with a disease and not telling me about the risk. And of course, I view blackout drunk as bullshit. I'm just telling you that. I don't have any proof.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about blackout drunk is who can tell, right? Anybody can claim blackout drunk.
Yeah.
And I think it's always bullshit. I think it's just stuff that people say, particularly women, particularly after affairs. Men do it too, I'm sure. I think it's bullshit that women say so that they create this fog of non-responsibility around themselves. Well, I was drunk. Hey, man. Hey, lady, if you were blackout drunk, that guy raped you. So let's go down to the cops. Let's press charges. Oh, I don't want to do that. Why not? If he rapes women who are drunk, he's going to go do it again. Maybe he roofied you. Maybe let's go get a tox screen. Let's go figure all this shit out, right? Let's go charge the guy because he raped you while you were drunk. That's terrible. Go save the sisterhood. Put this guy behind bars. Well, I don't want to do that. Yeah. No. It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Everybody is 100% responsible for what he or she does while he or she is drunk. Everybody. 100% responsible. In fact, if you drink and fuck, it's worse than not drinking and fucking. Right? It's like if you drink and drive and you get into an accident, it's a lot worse than if you just get into an accident while you're sober, right? So people say, oh, well, I was drunk. I was blackout drunk. Or this woman said it a little while back on the show too. Like that somehow excuses it. No, it makes it worse.
Yeah.
It makes it much worse because if you've had any experience with alcohol before, you know how to not get blackout drunk. I have never in my life been blackout drunk. I've been drunk once or twice, never been blackout drunk. So it's adding insult to injury for a woman to say, well, I just got blackout drunk. Well, did you keep drinking? Well, that was stupid, wasn't it? Was there at some point that you knew you were getting tipsy? Of course there was. Did you keep drinking? Hey, guess what? 100% responsibility. And then people who have sex while they're drunk are like people who drive drunk. You make bad decisions when you're drunk. That's one of the reasons you don't make decisions while you're drunk. Some of those decisions involve STDs. Some of those decisions involve going home with the wrong guy or the wrong woman. Some of those decisions involve getting pregnant. That's why you don't drink and fuck. Everybody knows this. This is absolutely, completely, and totally common knowledge. And so she came to you and said, well, I was blackout drunk. And you're like, well, I guess that makes it less bad, right? I guess that makes it complicated. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, no, I know.
It means that she fucked another guy and she's not even giving you the honesty to let you get pissed off. Because if she was truly blackout drunk, I guess she woke up the next morning with the guy, right?
Yeah.
In which case she should have jumped up, picked up her cell phone and dialed 911. I don't know what happened last night, but somebody appears to have had sex with me while I was unconscious. Right? That's rape.
Yeah.
And then you go get STD tested. You also go get a tox screen to find out if he roofied her, or she goes and does that.
Yeah.
But what happens is that if you stand up for this, then it's going to be pretty complicated with your mom, right? Because if you say, holy shit, this is like the worst fucking relationship on the planet, then you got to go sit down with your mom at some point and say, Mom, with all due respect, what the fuck? Why on earth would you tell me to stay with a woman who infected me with a dangerous illness and didn't even tell me she fucked another guy until my penis was pissing red?
Yeah.
If you were to have that conversation with your mom, how do you think it would go?
Yeah, I honestly don't know what she would say. I didn't ask her.
And you didn't even think of asking her, right? I mean, she was married to and had children with a drunk. Right, so she was married to and had children with a drunk. So what's she going to say about a drunk?
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine she would make excuses.
Of course. Just like you do for women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has your girlfriend entered I know the answer to this, but I'm just asking for the sake of it. Has your girlfriend entered any kind of AA or rehab program for an alcohol problem?
No.
Of course not. How did I know that? Why should she? Well, of course she should, because she got blackout drunk and infected her boyfriend with an STD. Which means that she makes incredibly bad decisions about alcohol, so she better go to a treatment program, right? So she doesn't make horribly bad decisions about alcohol. But she hasn't done that, right?
Yeah. Well, and in fairness, I drink as well. You know, I drink about as much as she does, so.
You ever get blackout fucked?
No. Oh, well. No, I don't think so.
Ever given her an STD?
No.
Lie to her about infidelity?
Yeah, did you ever lie to her about infidelity?
No.
Do you think you should drink less?
Do I think that I should drink less?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and
Okay.
I've cut back fairly significantly recently.
And has she cut back?
I think she has cut back because I'm not drinking with her. So I have noticed that she is drinking less.
And how are you feeling at the moment?
Shook up. I don't know, like it's definitely bringing back all the stuff that I kind of thought that I had sorted out, but at the same time, there's still things that were bugging me about the whole thing. I don't know. I just kind of hope that I have this wonderful notion in my mind of kind of walking down the path of forgiveness and all that stuff, and moving on, and people make mistakes and all that sort of stuff. So, it's definitely making me question my resolve. That's for sure.
What restitution has she made?
That's a good question.
Forgiveness is not yours to will; it's other people's to earn. Right? Be completely passive in your forgiveness. Wait and see what other people elicit.
Yeah, well, we've been together for about 11 months now. So, 13 months. So it's been quite some time since this has happened. And we certainly had a lot of talks about it. And immediately after it happened, I made sure that she knew absolutely that if I even for a second felt as though she was lying to me about something, that it would be over. And she's apologized profusely. And she's been working, from what I've seen, it seems as though she's been working quite a bit. Like I like to consider myself a fairly open person. Like when I have problems, I like to talk about it, and talking about stuff, it helps me work through issues that I'm having. And she is not really like that at all. But since this has happened, I think that she's really she's committed to the relationship, if that makes any sense. So she's been working a lot harder at talking to me about stuff, and just trying to keep the paths of communication open. We spend a lot of time together. So she doesn't like to go out and party by herself, I don't know. Does that make any sense, or was I avoiding the question?
Well, I'm not sure if it makes sense, but what are the virtues or positive characteristics that this woman has that make her so desirable that you would be willing to continue after such a vicious and dangerous betrayal?
We get along really well. We seem really compatible.
Well, no. Her virtues. Look, the fact that you're forgiving her, which I consider highly dysfunctional, one way. So you getting along with her could be because you're a pushover and she's a narcissist. I don't know. Right? So the fact that you get along, despite the fact that you're not willing to assert the basic needs you need to have a fucking force field around your balls so the bacteria don't come in and kill them. The fact that you're compliant, the fact that you are willing to put up with this shit could be why you're getting along. So you getting along with her is not a virtue. I'm asking about what virtues she brought to the table. What are the great things about her, independent of you getting along with her?
She's very hardworking. She's very funny, and I want to say we have similar interests. I don't know if that's along the same lines of us getting along, but we both like all the same stuff. We both like fishing and hunting and camping and 4x4ing and all that sort of stuff. So I don't really know what else to say. I kind of lost.
Well, you know that none of those are virtues, right? I mean, being hardworking is not a virtue. I mean, Hitler worked 18 hours a day, right? I'm not comparing you to Hitler because Hitler never gave you an STD, but being hardworking is not a virtue. Being funny is not a virtue. Lots of incredibly dysfunctional and destructive people were very funny. You know, Joan Rivers, his husband killed himself. Her husband killed himself. The next night she was out for dinner and she looked at the menu and she said, "Oh my God, looking at these prices, if my husband saw this, he'd kill himself again." So hardworking and funny, these are not virtues. The fact that she likes 4x4ing, not a virtue. The fact she likes camping, not a virtue. I'm asking about her virtues. I mean, you know this is a philosophy show, right? And you know that my definition is love is our involuntary response to virtue if we're virtuous.
True.
So what are her virtues?
Yeah, and I honestly don't know. Like, usually when I meet people, I don't take stock of their virtues, and I guess perhaps I should put a little bit more thought into that as I'm picking the people I spend my time with, I guess. But, you know, she's humble and diligent.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, I think we sort of reached the end of this part of the conversation. I would certainly, I'll just give you my thoughts. You certainly can have the last word. Mike, my prediction is that this relationship is going to get worse and worse over time. And she may very well, if she's not gone into therapy or not gone into any kind of substance addiction program or not, you know, dove straight into hot pursuit of self-knowledge after making such a catastrophic and destructive mistake. After making such a catastrophic and destructive decision. Sorry, female disempowerment can be contagious. But I think that you are scared to assert values. I think that's going to threaten all of your relationships. I don't think that your family should stand idly by while you're betrayed and infected by the destructive choices a woman is making. And I think that you're not surrounded by people who are looking out for your best interests. I almost don't need to ask the virtues of your mother because I think I can pretty much work it out from here. I also think, in my humble opinion, that you're not quite ready to see the big picture of what love is, of what security is, of what virtue is. And I think that if you're not going to listen to sort of my reasoning or my exhortations, then you're going to have to listen to experience. And I think that the experience is going to get progressively more bitter until you realize that the costs of not having and enforcing values on those around you will be extraordinarily high. This is the kind of woman, in my opinion, who can just decide, oops, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And then welcome to 20 years of half your income out the window. Yeah. And you are where people have irresponsibility in matters of sexuality and honesty and openness, you are messing with extremely dangerous stuff. And I would double bag condom use until you resolve this relationship, or better yet, don't have sex at all. Because I think that you are in very dangerous waters, Mike. I think that you don't have people around you who are giving you decent advice. But I think that the idea that you would stand up for real virtues and values in your relationships is something that's not, you don't even know how missing it is in your personal equations. And that's a lot of journey to go in sort of one phone call. But I think that you're in very dangerous waters, and I think that you are in a relationship that is going to turn out to be destructive. I'm not a crystal baller, but those are my thoughts. I'm certainly willing and happy to give you the last word, though.
Yeah, no, I'm certainly not going to refute anything you said, but I guess it's just kind of left me with more questions and answers in terms of how I enforce those virtues, I guess, within my relationships. Like,
No, sorry. And I don't mean to be confusing about that.
yeah,
If a restaurant serves you a shit sandwich, how do you enforce your preferences?
by pushing it away.
Yeah, you just walk out.
Yeah.
Right? You don't enforce your preferences like you are now going to make this restaurant serve better food. I mean, who's got time for that? Lots of bad restaurants in the world, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I mean, in this situation, I guess you can say it's a lot more cut and dry, but like, with interpersonal relationships with other people, like there's kind of a gray area, is there not? Like, do you try to, find people who are like the epitome of virtue, like.
No, dude. First of all, you have no emotional connection with any of this at all, which is why you're in such danger. You've expressed zero anger at having been infected with an STD, a dangerous STD,
Yeah.
and having it untreated because your girlfriend hid her infidelity from you.
Yeah.
You have expressed zero anger at that. And so because you don't have any emotional connection to what's going on to you, you jump straight into abstractions. And then in abstractions, you confuse yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So then you say, oh, does somebody have to be perfectly virtuous? Like, that's just you fucking yourself up. That's just you confusing yourself and spinning yourself around until you don't know which way is up and saying, well, I guess these questions are very confusing now, aren't they? They're really not. They're really not. Let me ask you something. Imagine you have a daughter.
Yeah.
The daughter is dating a guy. The guy fucks another woman, has sex with your daughter, and makes her sterile.
Yeah.
How would you feel about that?
Yeah, I'd be enraged. I'd be absolutely livid.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't sound it, but I believe you know the words. All right. So how is it any different for you?
Well, if you think that I'm not angry, I mean, you're mistaken. Like, I'm not going to yell and swear.
No, because all you've done is make excuses and minimize. So yes, empirically, you're really not as angry as you should be, or you probably are deep down. It just means that your anger threatens female interests. A man's anger that threatens female interests is like the Satan of the modern world. For men to have needs that are inconvenient to women, holy crap. I went to a conference in Detroit, speak about some men's issues. Conference had to be moved.
Yeah.
Women were sending in bomb threats, death threats. Was my wife happy about me going? Not hugely. Right?
Yeah.
Emma Watson just did a speech at the UN where she says, for some mysterious reason, men don't feel comfortable expressing themselves.
Yeah.
Well, how about feminists stop sending bomb threats to men getting together to express themselves? That might help.
Feminism with
or maybe, maybe a bunch of feminists could say that that's really bad and could organize a campaign to really remind men that these are crazy, evil women, nothing to do with feminism, instead of everyone pretending like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Why aren't you men more comfortable expressing your feelings? Hey, express your feelings, I'll cut you! Okay. MGTOW for the win. But you have feelings that are inconvenient to women. And so you feel very scared to express them, I would imagine. And there's a reason why I made it your daughter who got infected and sterile.
Yeah.
Not your son, right?
Yeah.
Because you then, in thinking of your daughter getting sexually infected and sterilized against her will without her knowledge, that would rouse your protective instincts towards women, right?
Right.
So why not you? Why are your balls any less valuable than her ovaries?
They're not. My balls are incredibly important to me. So I just,
All right.
it's just that I've experienced the anger. When it happened, I was extremely angry, and I don't know if maybe just the anger has faded, or whether, talking about it made me feel better. Like, I'm not sure if I should still be feeling angry about this, or obviously you seem like you obviously think there's no way to move forward with this. I think you've made that pretty clear, I guess.
If you were angry, I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Right. So I know the lack of anger that you have shows up in how you brought up the entire topic.
Yeah.
Like, well, this happened, it's fine, blah, 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 but this isn't my issue, right? I want to talk about entrepreneurship.
Well, I knew that it was going to go in this direction, and like I figured the way it was going to go was talking, about my experiences as a kid with my parents and how that's affected me in terms of, procrastinating with work and things of that nature. I didn't think that we would necessarily spend this much time on this topic, but it makes sense that we have.
Okay. Well, I guess I've given you my thoughts. My particular opinion is that this is going to get a lot worse before you wake up to what's around you, and I'm sorry for that. You certainly have been very helpful, I think, in serving as a warning to others, and I certainly wish you the best. When the scales do fall from your eyes, please feel free to give us a call. We'll certainly be happy to help you at that point, but I think that the white horse is a long drop for a lot of men. Don't want to get off that saddle, and tough to put down that lance, and tough to stop riding off to save women from the consequences of their own choices. So when that does, if and when that does happen for you, we'll certainly be here for you. But I certainly wish you the best moving forward.